How ready are we when stuff happens to us? Like just like the life thing, like unexpected events. So let's talk about it. All right. Let's talk about how ready are we? Are we really ever ready for whatever has happened in our lives? Are we ever ready to face, whatever bull comes at us? Um, so that's what I was talking about for I don't know how long, and I wasn't even recording anything. Jeez. So hopefully I get it right this time. So I don't know how many are ready to face, whatever circumstance that life throws at you. Or, sometimes, people plan things. Sometimes people like they're so organized and so meticulous on, all right, well, I'm going for this goal and I'm gonna go head on and manifest this and whatever. All right, but I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about the unexpected events that happen in our lives, like the unfortunate events, if you will. I mean, they don't have to be unfortunate, but the not so pleasant things that happen in our lives without us even expecting, what's gonna come forth or whatever. It's like all of a sudden, one day, everything just like all hell breaks loose, right? And it's wham, ready or not, here I come. And then you have this big old, it seems like a mountain of bullshit. And sometimes it happens right after the other, one after the other, one event after another event after another event, and it's like nothing good is, and you're like, well, what the hell? So are we ever ready for that? I know I haven't. I've never been ready for anything. Everything that's happened in my life has been like, I don't know, it just, whether we have something to do with it or not, life keeps lifing, right? Life keeps lifing, and then shit keeps coming at us, sometimes nonstop. Sometimes it's even for years. God almighty, please help us. Oh, God. But anyways, if I was just making, I sat down this morning and I'm like, I wonder if anybody is ever ready for the stuff that just gets dropped right in their life when they're so, you have this routine going, you have life going on, and everything's honky dory and everything, da la la, and then wham, out of nowhere. Right? So I was asking myself, I wonder how many people are actually really ready for whatever happens in their lives. And I've been going over it over and over this thing. And I'm like, well, you know what? None of my life has ever been, like, okay, I made this goal and I went for it. Yes, I achieved the goals or whatever. But it was like before getting to that goal, I always had like these obstacles and all kinds of shenanigans coming at me, trying to block me, trying to, I was not ready for none of that. Ever. I was never ready. And I wonder, I mean, I know it's like, I know I'm a big weirdo out here, but it seems like sometimes if it don't rain, it pours, right? But like the saying goes, hey, it can't rain forever, right? But when you're in the middle of the darn storm, when you're in the middle of the thunderstorms and the lightning and all that stuff, was I ready? No. Is anybody ever ready? I don't know. I mean, I can only speak for myself, but nevertheless, it came. The circumstances, the situationships, the whatevers that was thrown in our life, ready or not, here it came, right? And I was just, you know, reminiscing on how I figured out a lot of stuff in my past, right? How I didn't see anything. I had no hope. I was like, whatever, God, just let me die, right? Like, let me stop breathing. I'm just done with all this nonsense. And I was just really deeply in my thoughts about that. And like, well, I wasn't really ready for anything. But goddamn, I figured out everything. How the hell I did it, I have no idea. But I just know I did. Oh gosh. And most of the time, you know, I always had to figure out stuff for myself. I mean, I've never been one of them people that you know, wait on another person to, you know, do stuff for them. It's just part of who I am, or you know, the way that's my journey. God dang it, that's been my journey. You know, I do ask for help here and there. You know, I do take help here and there. But when I'm like in a really, when you're between the darkness and you don't see anything, you don't know how you're gonna figure this out, how, and this and this and that or whatever, you know, I'm usually really good at figuring stuff out, because it's like, you know, I just tap in and I'm like, God, please guide me. And I usually listen to my intuition, right? But sometimes it's like you don't get it like that all the time. You just feel completely blank. I mean, you're like a blank canvas, right? You're just like in the middle of the crossing line. All right, to the left or to the right, and you're right the middle. You're like, can I just have a front or a back? God dang it. Oh my gosh. But you know, it's like you have to take a step either way. You know, you can't just be in that pause, in that threshold, right? You can't just, you can only take so long of being there. And even if you don't see anything, right? So most of my life I've had to figure it out, you know. And if I did ask for help, you know, I was so grateful that I got the help. And you know, whenever I asked for the help or direction or whatever, you know, and nobody came to my rescue, I had to figure it out anyways, right? So I've never been one of them people that, you know, just wait and see if another person is going to do it for me. Or it's really hard for me to do that. And it doesn't matter what it is. You know, it could be the smallest little thing, or it could be this huge thing, right? If I need the help, I will ask for the help. You know, if whatever help comes, you know, I'll take it. And I'm so grateful for it that you know, it appeared, that it came to me, because God knows I'm in my last leg, right? So I was just, you know, in my head about it all day long. And I'm like, well, it don't matter how much we've endured through our life, right? We figured everything out anyways. And sometimes, every time you're going through a bad space, you know, where you're in a bad space, I mean, you can say you're in a very bad, a low space where you don't see anything, like you feel hopeless, you feel like, what else is there, you know, what else can I do? Nothing. What else can I say? Nothing. What else, you know, where else can I go or run to? Or nowhere. So you, it's like we're left in this space where you just have to pause, right? You have to pause. You have to sit your ass down and make memory of okay, wait, I've been here before. I've been here before. We just like, I think in the comfort of when you achieve so much, or when you've overcome so much, we get into this comfort of, oh, okay, that's it. I made it this far. I'm good. And I got things figured out, blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you, if you think you got things figured out, my salutes to you. Because I thought I had things figured out. And when shit hits the fan, I don't think anybody's ever ready for that shit. Oh gosh, but nevertheless, we figure it out, right? And I think that the big lesson on this, I guess today, right, is that, okay, wait, I've been here before. I've been in all this trials and tribulations, right? And I've overcome all of them. I mean, I'm here now, right? I'm still here. I'm still breathing. And that back there was so difficult at the time. And that back there, I couldn't see anything. And that back there, and you start making memory and you're like, huh. So what's my issue now? So I guess this video is for those that, if you feel like you're in this hurdle that you think and it seems that you're not going to be able to overcome it because it's overwhelming, whatever issue you're going through, whatever hurdle, it's heavy, but whatever burden it's you're going through right now, I just want to tell you, and I want to remind you that you've been here before. You've been in this space before. Okay. No, I'm not trying to, give you the solution or whatever, because the solution and all the answers you're seeking for, you already have those. You already have it within you, and you just got to learn to sit your ass down, go within, and breathe. Breathe, tap in, one-on-one in sync with your breath giver, and remember all the times that you've been here before, and sometimes even in way worse situations, and you made it, and you figure it out, and there was always an answer there, right? Sometimes even if you don't see anything, if nothing makes sense, if you have no other solutions, you don't see anything, I just want to remind you, you've been here before. Okay, you've been here before, and you overcame everything, and you found the solution to whatever problem you were going through before. You've been here before. Okay, so if we can remember that, okay, now I'm going through this, and it's pretty harsh, and it's pretty hard, and it seems like you can't surpass it and you can't overcome it. It's just like a threshold that we must cross, right? Because we're constantly changing, we're constantly evolving, and when you're serious about your own growth, nothing stays the same. I mean, it's ridiculous how so much nothing stays the same. It's so damn constant that it just gets ridiculous. I mean, I know I can say that for myself. I like change, but goddamn, give me a break. Whew. But let's enjoy the journey and remind ourselves that we've been here before. Yes, now this huge mountain that's in front of me, it seems like it's super impossible to climb. It seems super impossible to get to the other side. But we got to remember, we've been here before, and we overcame everything before. There's nothing different between this time and last time, or all the prior last times, right? There's nothing different other than us being more conscious of ourselves. That's the only difference. You know, now you know more. Now you're wiser than before. Now you have more skills. Now you have more strength. You know, now you have better tools than before. You know, it's nothing rare about this time that you're going through a harsh time. You know, if you had the same tools that you have now, the same knowledge that you have now, if you had that before when you was going through that harshness prior to now, what would you do? What would you do different? Ask yourself that. What would you do different? You know, I don't think I would have done anything different, but I didn't have the tools that I have now, right? So this challenge that I have before me is perfect for the tools that I have now, that I can utilize these tools, this knowledge, all the wisdom that I've gained, and stronger tools that I have now to overcome whatever I'm going through, right? So if you can pause and make memory, and it's good. Sometimes it's good for you to just sit, sit, I don't care, whatever you want to do, you know, but reminisce on all the harsh times that you've been through, all the obstacles that you've already overcame in your whole lifetime, ever since you can remember. Go back all the way back there, take it all the way back, and make memory, you know, make memory of how did you do that, you know, and just go over the little hurdles. I mean, they seem little, right? I know they seem little to me right now. The past hurdles, the past trials and tribulations I had, I thought, now I think they were small compared to now, but they weren't. I mean, they were a big deal too. They were a huge deal, actually. And I overcame them, right? And we all overcame them. And we always figure it out. And we always figure it out. And we always will figure it out. So, you know, it don't matter if it was in the past. Whatever we overcame, it was pretty hard, you know. And we should give ourselves credit for being able to overcome so much shit that should have destroyed us. So much challenges and obstacles, and you know, where we were hopeless. We were completely hopeless, but we overcame it anyways, right? So if we look at ourselves with a little bit of compassion, you know, patience and love and more understanding for ourselves, like, you know, give ourselves credit for so much that we've overcome. And that now, even if I am going through this difficult monstrosity, it seems, I'm going to be able to overcome it too. I'm going to figure it out, because that's what I do. That's what we all do. You know, we all overcome everything that comes at us. Until when? Until we don't overcome no more, right? We until we stop breathing, you know. But even then, like, I don't know. I mean, we I think I'm not even, oh no, nuh-uh. I'm not even gonna go into it. But anyways, we will always figure it out. It doesn't matter what it is. You know, some of us are a little bit more equipped. No, a lot more equipped, actually. You know, we have stronger tools, better tools than before. And just the same way that we figured out back then is going to be the same way that we figure it out now. Maybe not in the same exact way, but we will figure it out nevertheless, right? But we got to be more consciously aware of the tools that we have now and how to utilize those tools. Because without those tools, you know, all the skills that we have now, all the knowledge, you know, everything we've been through, all that is very helpful now. So this challenge is no different than the rest. You know, whatever challenge we're going through now, there's not a difference about it. I mean, there's no big difference in it. Most of it is the same thing. It's the same protocol. Like, okay, there's a challenge. How do I look at the challenge? That's the big question, right? How am I looking at it? Am I looking at it as, okay, I'm hopeless, I'm the victim, why does this happen to me? When, let me whine about it, let me cry about it for, days. God only knows, because I know I've whined, like, I don't know, for weeks, months, years, shit, So it just depends on how we look at it, how we approach the present situation that we're going through right now. And most of what we have now is, how do I say this? The challenge, the burden that we feel now, it's really not a burden. It's just another challenge. It's just another part of your lesson in the same book, right? It's a different chapter. And you got to see the tools that you have now, the skills that you have now. Be specific with your skills. Okay, well, now I know this. How do I utilize this tool? How do I utilize this skill that I have now that I didn't have before? How strong is it, right? Or what can I do to strengthen it? And yes, of course, we have fears. Shit, we're human. It's part of being human. Everybody has fears. Everybody goes through fearful moments, right? Everybody is scared to do something, even especially if you've never done it before, right? Like, I was scared shitless about these videos. God Almighty knows. I was scared shitless. Oh my gosh. It was like, I've never liked cameras at all. I'm talking about I've never liked cameras. Yes, I would take a picture here and there, but ever since I can remember, I didn't like pictures. I didn't care if they were alone or in groups, or me and the camera didn't get along, period. And that was just, I think more of it was a spiritual thing, because, what you see out here is not what you know in here. Yeah, this whole matter thing is a whole different story than what's really behind everything. So I was just really iffy about it all my life, like, and then yes, I took pictures, of course, and of course I have memories of wonderful, beautiful pictures. That don't mean I like taking pictures. That don't mean I like to get recorded or yeah, that don't mean that. It's just, it was something within me that I was scared shitless. I mean, I can say I was not like in fear of my life or whatever, not in that aspect, but it's like this, you hold yourself back because you never done it before. And then if that's called fear, what, I'm pretty sure it falls in the category of fear, right? I mean, what else could it fall under? And it wasn't doubt. It wasn't that I didn't know that I could do it or not. I mean, I knew I could do it, but for me to do it was a different story. So same thing, just whatever new challenge you're going through, whatever new challenge and burden, you're going through, I guarantee you're going to figure it out. You're going to figure it out just like you always have, just like you always will. You're going to figure it out because you can. and you have all the skills and all the tools to overcome anything that comes your way, right? That is part of our journey, especially if you're a very strong warrior spirited person, right? We don't let shit get us down. I mean, yes, we have down times. Yes, of course. We go through pain, and we go through, like, we're all chopped up and shit all over, and we go through tears, and not no sleep, and we don't even have a damn appetite, and we don't need, I mean, we just we go through a lot. But nevertheless, we always figure it out, right? We always figure it out. Why? Because we can. So I'm just trying to remind people out there, if you are going through whatever problem you think you have no solution to, that if you're going through and it's heavy and it's hideous, sometimes we don't even have a name for what we're going through, right? We just think we're alone and nobody understands, and I have no solutions, and whatever. I think that is just a subconscious escape, just us making excuses because of, I've never been here before, so how do I overcome this? And nobody can give you an answer to that. Nobody's going to give you an answer to that, because all those answers are within you. All those answers come from in here. Nobody can, okay, maybe some people can tell you, okay, do it this way, do it that way, or do this, do that. But at the end of the day, it's going to have to come from you. That problem has a solution, and you're the solution. That solution is within you. So the less excuses we can make for ourselves, the better. The more we can focus on, what skills do I have right now? What have I learned? Like, I didn't come all the way from down yonder to all the way here with nothing, right? I didn't come all the way to here with no tools at all. I didn't come all the way here with no skills at all. No, of course not. And now you're stronger than before. Now you have a stronger mindset. Now your emotions should be stronger, Now you know things you didn't know in the past. Now you have so much in your bag, and you're able to utilize all that to get out of the hurdle that you're in. So I just want to remind you that no, you're not hopeless. No, there's such thing as no, there's not a solution for this. There's always a way out. There's always a solution. There is. I guarantee you there is. Look at Mother Nature. Look at Mother Nature. If something don't work, what happens? It always figures it out. Why? Because it's life. That's what we do. We're breathing, living creatures, life-giving creatures. So whatever you want to give life to, if you want to give life to a solution, focus on the solution. Don't focus on the problem that you're going through. Don't focus on the challenge, because that's why it's so challenging, because you're still focusing, you're putting all your energy is going into that big problem. You see this big old huge mountain, and you're like, God, how am I going to get through this? And you don't know, because you're just looking at the mountain. You're not looking anywhere else, but completely laser focused on the problem. So if you keep on focusing on the problem, you're never going to have time to take a breather and maybe look down, look to the sides, and see if there's a solution, right? Or look in your bag. You have a bag. You have a bag of skills and tools that you can use. You can get those tools, those skills out of your bag. Get them out. Look over them. All right? If it's a screwdriver, metaphor, if it's, damn, sometimes I can't do something that I want to do, like a little project or move something here or move something there, if I don't have something to measure stuff with, right? Because I am not going to push that big old piece of furniture over here just to find out that it don't fit. No, you got to measure it, right? So sometimes the most simplest things, you know, you don't have to have a measuring tape. You don't have to have a ruler to measure a space. You don't. You improvise, right? So that's what we do now. You know, whatever problem we're going through, improvise. Improvise. Utilize those skills that you have now. Utilize those tools. And if you don't have the right tool, you don't think you have the right tool, well, shit, you got whatever there that you can improvise with and utilize that. You know, utilize that to get yourself out of that heavy burden aspect in your mind. Because if you don't, a whole lifetime could pass you by. You could stay stuck in that space for, I don't know, weeks, months, years and years and years and years. I mean, I know people that are stuck and been stuck for goddamn a long time. So, you know, if and we got to be more cautious of that. Like I always say, caution your consciousness, because that's where we throw in our awareness. If we are not aware, we cannot be cautious of how consciously we are putting our energy towards something, right? So if we're laser focused on the problem, that's all we're going to see. And even if it's so uncomfortable, even if it brings us such discomfort, pretty soon, if you stay so much in that space, it begins to be comfortable. And that's not cool. That's I don't think it's cool. Because then we start getting in that stagnation. You know, we stay in that. I look at it as muddled waters, right? It's so icky and then murky and goo. And before you know it, it's like you end up so damn robotic, and you like, you don't even know where you end up at, to put it in lesser words. So if we are more aware of you know, okay, let me stop putting my laser focus in the damn problem, okay, and let me look in my bag and see what I got there. Since I overcame that those trials and tribulations from before, from the past, and they were like, I thought they were gonna take me out. Shit, you know, I thought something by now would have took me out. Yay to my enemies. Oh, sorry. But they didn't take me out. It didn't take me. Nothing has took me out. What does that mean? That means I have to overcome this shit one more time. So let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. You know, and I have to look in that bag, and I have to see what kind of skills I have now. What's my strengths? Don't focus on my weaknesses. Because if I focus on my weaknesses, then it's like I might as well sit down and laser focus on the damn problem, right? Because my weaknesses is not going to solve my problem. You know, it'll be a rare thing if it does. Maybe it will. I don't know. Shit, I might look into that one too. So, you know, look into your bag and see what kind of strength. What is your strength? Ask yourself, what are my strengths now? What's my strengths? What am I good at? You know, what am I really, really, you know, just whatever. I mean, I don't know, you know, everybody goes through different things. But just remember that you already been there. You already been in this space. It was maybe a different situation, maybe a whole other problem, But you've been in this space before. You've been in this space where you see nothing, where you hear nothing, where you're like, shit, God, give me a damn break. You've been here before. So if you start focusing, take your focus off the problem. You know, bring your focus back to, what are my strengths? What are my skills? What kind of tools do I have? And start, going through your tools, like one by one. Journal, write. That helps out a lot. If you get out a piece of paper and you write, I don't care if you draw stick people. I don't care. I mean, I don't know how to draw. That's all I can draw, stick people. But I love to write. So once I get to writing, I find a solution. Once I get to, okay, this and this and this and this and this, it just puts it's like a whole map that gets put together for me. And maybe that's one of my strengths that I didn't, see before. Maybe it's one of my strengths that I've never seen before. I've never seen how I'm so good at putting things together when I write. It's like this whole map thing. Okay, I write this here, I write that there, and then all of a sudden it's like all the pieces, they come together and they form this, and I'm like, what? So you have the solution. You have what it takes to overcome whatever. So don't feel like, there's no solution to whatever problem, because there is. Okay? There is. I'm just here to remind you, there is. You are the solution. You have the solution within you. Stop focusing on the damn problem. Please. Please, I beg you. Don't focus on the problem. That's just going to keep you stuck. That's just going to screw up your whole being. It's going to screw you. It's going to screw you real good. So, do not focus on the problem. Get your mind off the problem. Get your ears, your eyes, your everything. Get your energy completely off the problem. Completely. Take it off. Shift your focus into, even if you think you don't have hope, okay? Take a deep breather. Take time to breathe. Breathe. And journal. Journaling, writing, whatever you call it, helps a lot, okay? And if you don't know how to write, that's fine. Draw something. I don't know. Draw, just channel that hopelessness that you feel inside. Channel it out. You need to get it out. Let it flow out, because that's probably one of the main reasons we get so blocked. We get so blind. Everything seems murky and cloudy and we don't see shit. It's because we're not channeling out that energy. We're still stuck. I call it stuck on stupid, right? But I know I have those moments where I'm so focused on the problem, and the more I focus on it, the huger it seems. The problem is like there's a huge air balloon that keeps blowing right in my face. It's huge. I see nothing. But that's not the case where you can figure it out, because we always have. That's what we do. So I'm just here to remind you, okay? Whatever problem you're going through, you have the solution. You, yourself, and you with God have the solution. It's in there. It's in there. You just gotta look in that bag. You gotta look in that bag, and then you gotta do the work, man. You gotta take your tools out your bag. Get them out. Look them over. Sure, they might need some cleaning. You might have this this skill that needs a little bit of polishing. Or forget the polishing. Okay, just clear it out. Clean it out. It might have all these webs, and it might be under so much clutter that you done forgot you have that skill, that you have that tool. and you will never know how strong it is until you grab it and, you know, look into it. So do that. Don't focus on the damn problem. Leave the problem alone, okay? The problem is big enough without your energy. Your problem is already perfect, all right? Leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Don't mess with it, all right? We're gonna focus more on how do I deflate this dang on problem right in front of me that don't let me see anything, all right? So look in that bag. Look in your bag and get your skills out, get your tools out, clean them out, go through them one by one, because your solution, the fixer upper to whatever problem you're going through, it's in there. I guarantee you it's in there. It's in that bag. You already have the solution in there. So stop driving yourself nuts. Stop driving yourself crazy and wasting your energy on boohoo, I see nothing, because that's a total waste of life. It's a total waste of time. And I'm not saying it to be mean to anybody. I talk like that to myself. Damn, I talk like bro, you gonna get your ass up and use what you got or not, you know? I mean, I that's the way I talk to myself. Like, what's wrong with you? You've overcome so much. Like, what's the difference now, huh? What? There's nothing different now. The only difference is that I'm focusing so much on the damn problem that I see nothing of the problem, right? So let's look through our bag, you know, find our solution in there, because it's in there. And before we know it, you know, we're gonna have this whole solution all mapped out for us, and we're gonna be like, oh, wow, all that time it was in there and I couldn't see it. Like, damn. Because I know I go through that. I know I go through those phases like, shit, it was there the whole time, but no, I'm over here just, you know, shenanigan around, focusing on the problem, like, you know, trying to do this dance in distress with God, you know, like, God, do it for me, help. And, you know, God's like, nope, you got what it takes, you find it, you got the solution, I ain't doing shit. Damn. So that dance in distress never helps me. It never has helped me. So I don't know about y'all, but I'm done. I'm done putting my energy towards the problem. I'm done. If anybody wants to keep focusing on that problem, good luck to you. But I suggest that you don't. You know, start looking at your skills. Start looking at your, you know, at your bag, and then see what you got and see what you can use or utilize towards whatever. Because it's not always someone that's going to come and bring us a solution. It's not always something that's, you know, just going to save you out of the blue. You know, it's not always, some of us don't get it like that. Some of us don't have it like that. Some of us, we've never had it like that, you know. And whoever has had it like that, you are so greatly blessed. And I ain't saying nothing, but, you know, count your blessings and be so grateful, because that is rare. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. That is rare. If somebody comes and saves you, if somebody comes and, you know, just fixes your problem like this, that's beautiful, and be grateful for it. But for those that, you know, that we can't play the damsel in distress role, because even if we do, nobody's coming to save us, you know, and we're not Rapunzel's either. So let's focus on the solution. Let's focus on how can we map out a solution, right? Step one, take your focus off the problem. That's step number one, okay? prior steps, number one is sit your ass down and breathe. Okay? Sink. Like take yourself completely out of the matter world. Completely, where you could just sit and breathe. You know, do breathing, how do you call it? Breathing exercises or whatever, meditation, whatever. Okay, just sit still in silence. Go sit somewhere. Go lay somewhere. Be still. Be completely still. Shut up. Okay? Say nothing. Say nothing. A lot of us say, okay, well, I'm praying for this. I'm going to pray for this. But there's a difference between you praying and you meditating. Okay? When you pray, you're too busy talking. You're too busy talking and you know, telling God what you want, or thank you for this, or thank you for that, or, you know, making your request, or just whatever. You're too busy talking. You do not hear. You do not hear what you know, the higher ups is trying to tell you. So this is why it's important for us to sit still, be still, and you will have an answer. You will get the answer that you're looking for. You know, but if you go and just pray and talk and then your mind is completely going blah 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 blah, what happens? You're never gonna get it. You're never gonna get it. You can pray all you want. You can pray 24/7 if you want. That's it. You know, I'm gonna leave it there. So that's I guess the number one step. Okay, before the first step. Be still. Be still. And you're gonna get a direction. You know. So I'm gonna leave it here. So I already spoke too much. Don't feel like there's no solution out there, okay? And you're not the only one going through all this bull. I think the whole world and its mother is going through this right now. A lot of us are going through whatever hurdles, and we're gonna find a solution, just like we always have, right? And we're gonna have a fixer-upper to whatever obstacle we are facing right now. So just stay strong, be still, look in that bag, see what kind of, you know, tools you have, what kind of skills you have. Clean out your bag, clean out your bag of skills. You know, look through them, see what you can utilize right now, because your answer is in there. But for you to find that answer, you're gonna have to sit still and look through it. So I love you guys. Stay strong, keep it moving, don't get stuck. Do not get stuck, because it's real easy for us to get stuck. It's actually pretty easy, you know, because all we gotta do is just like fuck it, and you stay in that effort mode forever. You know, sometimes I know I lose track of time when I focus so much on the problem. I'm so strongly focused on the problem that I lose track of time. I completely lose myself in time. And before I know it, I'm like, damn. Like, seriously? Tina, you did this shit again? Like, hello? You know, so don't get stuck in that mode. I think it's action time. And if you're not feeling it yet, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it pretty soon. I don't know. According to the planetary alignment, we're all gonna feel it. I know I've been feeling it. It's been pretty good on me. That's all I'm gonna say. It's been super purging to me. I I've been in this constant purge of how to go all the way back to my birth. Purged out stuff that I didn't even know was still there, you know. So just take the time, be still, align yourself, you know, and keep it moving. We gotta, you have the solution. You have it. You have it. We all do. That's what we do. I mean, that's what we come here for, you know. And whatever other fixing you need, if you don't have it in your bag, if you don't have it in your skills, if you don't have it in your tools, I guarantee you that your breath giver, Almighty God of all that is going to bring you whatever you need. Okay? It always does. It's like everything is provided for us. And then you remember, or let me remind you, the birds. Look at the birds. Look at nature. Is it driving itself crazy to fix her problems? Does it? Does it? No. No. It sees the way out. You know, it focuses on the way out. And everything else is provided. Everything else is provided. So, what's the difference? And if we think back, you know, we had everything that we needed for the solution that we were looking for in our past. So there's nothing different right now. All right. So y'all stay safe out there. I love y'all. Stay grateful. Remember, an attitude of gratitude is your greatest fortitude, no matter what. Okay. And I know a lot of us are going through harshness, but don't stay stuck in that. Please don't stay stuck in that. Please don't. Let it be your last option to you know, just put the covers over your head and that's it. Don't do that. And if you do it to be still, you know, meditate and listen. Just listen to your inner guidance, because your solution is in there. Okay, so I love you guys. Again, I'm gonna leave it here because I'm gonna keep going. Love y'all. Stay blessed and see you soon. All right, bye.